Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Boston Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks 111 to 105 last night with a good defensive effort in TD Garden. I wanted to detail some of the plays, so let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And the Boston Celtics really ticked up the defense for this prime time matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks, holding them to 105 points, only 43% shooting from the field, and there is no stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo. He still had 30 points in this game, but Al Horford has proven time and time again to be the best at it, and with Giannis going downhill, he does a nice job here. And in order to have some success on a guy like Giannis, you have to have multiple people that can either not guard him, but just stay with him for a couple seconds and just take the force and the physicality that he plays with. And Jaylen Brown does a phenomenal job of that here. Takes a couple bumps from Giannis, stops his drive, then he comes out on Dame and forces a miss. And some good pick and roll defense here by Al Horford. He sees Tatum gets hit by the screen and still in front of Dame while being in a position to get back to Giannis. This is a guy that's been playing defense for a long time and has been a great defender for a long time. So he understands positioning. Again, one of the best things for a big man defensively is to be able to play both the handler and the roller in the pick and roll. It's such a valuable skill in today's NBA with the dynamic handlers that we have. And now Horford does a nice job of that here, stays in front of Dame, but is still in position to get back to Giannis after the pass, force him to stumble a little bit past the ball and drew with the block. And this is the type of defense that we saw from Jaylen Brown in the playoffs, especially in the finals, taking his matchup with Luka Doncic very personal. You're not going to stop superstars like this. You're not going to stop a Dame. You're not going to stop a Giannis. You're not going to stop a Luka. But what Jaylen Brown did, what Jaylen Brown is able to do, picking these guys up 94 feet with his strength, with his quickness, with his athleticism, setting the tone for this game and that finals, right? Just picking up those guys, making them exert as much energy as they can. I love that they're letting the guys be physical. We always talk about how the game is so soft now, right? We gotta let some of this stuff go and allow guys to play defense like this just as long as it's consistent on both sides. All right, so I was really interested in this play. So as Giannis drives, you're gonna see Jrue Holiday, right? Usually it's just like pick up, but you're not supposed to help strong side corner. Jrue would be wrong to pick up here and leave a shooter like AJ Green. So he just backs off Giannis and allows him to go to the paint. This was the Celtics game plan all night. There were some lapses in it. There were some times where they helped off Dame off the corner. He gave a guy a three. There was one in the fourth quarter. I think Gary Trent hit a three off a Dame drive. Sam Hauser helped off the corner and Joe called a timeout. But this is important because them not allowing Giannis to become a playmaker does a couple of things, right? It doesn't allow the other Bucks to get going. Every other Buck except for Dame and Chris Middleton, they solely rely on the playmaking of Giannis and Dame. Probably not Bobby Portis, like he can do some things in the post area, but most of their team relies on the gravity of Giannis and Dame to create for them. That's why Chris Middleton was the only other Buck in double figures other than the top two, and he was still 2 for 10 from the field in his first game back. Also, Giannis is a guy that averages 6 assists per game, has really stepped it up these past couple years as a playmaker. He only had 1 assist in this game. Of course, that was a season low. And then here we got good team defense all around. PP gets switched on the Dame Lillard, does a nice job pressure and staying in front of the ball. Good help by Derek White, not letting Dame drive. Then we get back to another seamless switch by Sam and Derek White. He pressures the ball. Then Peyton Pritchard, a guy that he didn't score in this game, which is unheard of, but he still had an impact on the defensive side of the ball. Just pressuring Dame, not letting anything be easy, stays in front of him. And then Dame finally drives with Pritchard on his hip. The Miz kid does a nice job. Who was good defensively in this game on Dame on some switches, gets a block here. And here we got 2 picks for Dame trying to get Sam Hauser on the switch, and he holds his own like usual. All right, so we got some defense in the offense. A great move by Giannis for the spin move to get Jaylen Brown off him. And since he's already in this upward motion, Derek White feels the need to help. And a great contest by the smaller Derek White leading to a Jason Tatum layup. And again, Horford just doing an amazing job isolated on Giannis, doing a good a job as anybody. And again, you're not going to stop Giannis, but this is a guy that shoots 61% on the season. And the Celtics hold him to 52. That's a 9% difference, right? All you're hoping to do is just make him less efficient. And now Horford does that here. Stops his drive, the crossover, stops the drive, forces him to spin, fade. All right, so this play ended in a foul, but I just love the defensive intensity. All right, so this play did end in a foul, but I just love the defensive intensity here by Jrue Holiday, setting the tone for later in this game. Right here, damn near jumps over Giannis to navigate this screen, gets over, sticks to Chris Middleton, White on Rice, blows up this play, blows up this pass, just being super disruptive, stays with Chris Middleton even as he gets the ball. This is where the foul occurs, but I just love the defense by Jrue Holiday. All right, so some good defense here, specifically by Al Horford and Derek White. We got Chris Middleton coming off the Iverson cut here. He's going to get into some pick and roll action with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then we got Al Horford right here checking Giannis again, making it tough for him, forcing him to pass the ball, not letting him drive right to the basket and get a bucket. Then watch what Derek White does, right? There's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. He could have easily jumped at this pump fake here and fouled Chris Middleton, right? As he jumps, he pulls it back, and then when he actually contests, he contests on the side of Chris Middleton, not getting a foul, but still being able to affect the shot and forcing the miss. And here we got the Bucks trying to get K to switch on the Dame. K has some nice possessions on Dame. They'll be coming later in this fourth quarter. But in this fourth quarter, the Celtics held the Bucks to 23 points, 8 for 24 shooting, which is 33%. They did a phenomenal job in this fourth quarter, and K had a hand in some of those defensive possessions here, switched on Dame, using his length, making sure Dame sees him, and watch how close he ends up getting to this shot. That is a great contest by K forcing the miss. And the versatility of this team is just super important. We've seen K get a stop on Dame, and if you have multiple guys to throw at Giannis, that means you have multiple guys to throw on anybody on their team, right? And the Celtics held Bobby Portis to a horrible shooting night, even though he was rebounding like Moses Malone. Derek White gets a stop here. And watching this after the live game, it just looked really special to me. I'm not gonna lie. And I always talk about K's feet. I always talk about him being from Portugal and the first sport there being soccer. Watch this hesitation move by Dame completely not affect the 7-footer. So Dame's gonna tween cross, then he's gonna do this. He does not lose a stride. I might be tripping, bro, but I think this is crazy. Like, the 7-footer on the hesitation loses no stride with Dame Lillard at that. No stride at all. The cross, the tween cross, no. I mean, now I can understand that 2 steps for Dame is 1 stride for K. I can understand that. I feel like he should be at least a step behind, and he's just not. Does a nice job on this switch again, forces the miss. And this is really important to me and the team, especially in the fourth quarter. We got a potential 2-man game between Dame and Giannis, right? Jrue blows this whole thing up, doesn't let Dame use the screen, and forces the ball to somebody else. We are in the fourth quarter. Anytime you can make somebody other than Dame and Giannis in the fourth quarter have to create something, it's a win. It is a win. And then this just happens to be a turnover, so it's an ultimate win, but just forcing the ball out of the best 2 players' hands is good for the Celtics. And if we talk about the most complete players in the game today, Jason Tatum has to come up in that conversation, and he damn near might have to be at the top. As you see, 34 points, 12 for 20, good efficiency, 10 rebounds. He guards Brook Lopez. He guards Giannis on possessions in the clutch, and then he guards Dame here. Just all around good defense by him right here, stopping the first drive, forcing the escape dribble, staying up on Dame. He tries to drive again, stops that, get in front of him, and then a good contest on the 3-point. And just great situational defense here by Al Horford. The Celtics are up 4 with like a minute left. He switches up into space in the pick and roll, knowing that a 3 could hurt them a lot more than a 2 does in this late game situation. Then as Middleton drives, he comes down and blocks it. Now Giannis gets a rebound, but Jrue commits a hard, non-malicious, non-excessive foul. Giannis goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. You would rather him go to the line than get an easy putback. And this was just a perfect way to end the game with the game center steal by Derek White. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone as you can. Just video out there a little bit more, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.